always wars. Overcoming the manipulation, divided and conquered, split into many nations. As we gather at the Stargate Haitian State.
And what's good? What's good? Back with another video, and in this video, we're gonna be talking about how this woman snapped. She snapped like nobody's business, and that is the beginning of the Alpha, the Omega, and the one who was and who's still yet to come. Right? So this woman was charged with attempted murder after shooting two attorneys shot outside, right, the courthouse, okay, in Wake County. Now, here's the deal. Everything she had just been through, okay, they were torturing her mother in the nursing home. They racist. This is like a sundown, town, okay, more like the KKKs, okay. So I'm just gonna get right into this because this is the beginning of snaps. I'm getting snaps. Listen, this is the season. Okay, people are on edge. Let's go.
What I do know is just after 10:30 this morning, Wake County Sheriff's deputies and Raleigh police officers responded to a shooting just outside the old courthouse here on Fayetteville Street. When deputies and officers came out of the courthouse, they encountered an adult female who was in possession of a handgun. That female was taken into custody, and shortly after taking her in custody, the deputies and officers located two adult victims that were suffering from gunshots. After placing the suspect in custody and providing medical attention to the two victims, the victims was transported to a local hospital, and at this time, I do not know the condition of their injuries. What we do know is that there was some court case here in the old courthouse on the 10th floor with all the parties involved. The suspect in this case became belligerent in court. That court case ended. The suspect left the courthouse, retrieved their vehicle and returned back to the courthouse here on Fayetteville Street. The suspect got out of the vehicle, approached the two victims, shot both victims, and that's when the deputies and officers were able to take that suspect in custody. We are working to find out exactly what that court case was about. We do believe it was a civil matter between the suspect and the two parties, the two victims. Right now, Wake County Sheriff's Office.
57-year-old Gwendolyn White was put in handcuffs just after she allegedly opened fire and shot two lawyers outside the Wake County Courthouse in Raleigh, North Carolina. The shooting happened in an alley near the courthouse after a hearing involving White and both lawyers. Police say something happened during the hearing that made White angry.
The suspect in this case became belligerent.
Have y'all seen or heard about this 57-year-old North Carolina woman accused of shooting two attorneys after leaving a court hearing on Friday?
Mama, is this? What the f happened, twin? You alright?
Somebody's random.
You alright? Yo, what the f?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, but I just spent hours reading through the court filings, the motions, the police department responses, and Gwendolyn White's Facebook posts. So let me try and give y'all a recap as best I can. So it all starts back in March of 2021 in Roseville, North Carolina, which seems to be near Raleigh. And according to court documents, police were called out on that day because of some kind of dispute between Gwendolyn White and her neighbors. Two officers, Officer Jarrell and Officer Abadaka, who I'm just going to call Officer A, who were both wearing body cameras, arrived on scene. But what happens next is where things start to take a turn. According to the town of Roseville and the Roseville Police Department, the situation between Gwen and her neighbors was just a neighborhood dispute. So after 30 days, the body camera footage from both of the officers was automatically deleted, which according to RPD is their policy if footage is not classified or needed as evidence. But Gwen White, on the other hand, says this issue wasn't just a neighborhood dispute. According to her, she and her family had been victims of harassment, stalking, break-ins, and more for years prior to that. And according to her, when police came out in March of 2021, the body cams officers were wearing captured her neighbors admitting to some of these crimes, including allegedly admitting to a double murder. So Gwen says when the body cam footage was deleted, it was basically a cover-up. Problem, however, is that Gwen didn't request the body cam footage until almost a year after the incident. So again, the police are called on March 3rd, 2021. Police auto-delete the footage in April of 2021. And then Gwen files a petition requesting the footage in February of 2022, long after the footage had been auto-deleted. So RPD says when her request came in February of 2022, their response was it was already gone. But Gwen files this petition with the courts, and 20 days after it was filed, a judge by the name of Judge Rozier granted Gwen's request and ordered RPD to release all body-worn camera footage from that day, but the judge noted if the footage was not available, the department needed to provide a copy of the department policies to Gwen to explain why it was deleted. So following this order from the judge, the town of Roseville says they worked with some technicians who were eventually able to recover 3 clips from Officer Jarrell's body cam footage, which were turned over to the court, but they were never able to recover anything from Officer A's body cam footage. And that's a problem because according to Gwendolyn White, Officer A's body cam footage is the one that has all the good stuff. She says Officer A's footage is where the neighbors admitted to all of these crimes. And since RPD didn't provide Gwen with Officer A's footage, she files a motion for contempt of court, basically arguing that the department didn't do what the judge ordered them to. RPD responds to that motion, again explaining that the footage has been deleted and the IT people were only able to recover footage from Officer Jarrell's camera, but that's it. And from there, the case seems to go quiet from 2022 until 2026. But in these new filings from Gwen, she says the case wasn't quiet at all during that time. According to her, over the course of those 3 years, judges, police officers, attorneys, her neighbors, and members of the KKK were all working to harass, stalk, and harm her family, including, according to her and her mother being poisoned in April of 2023, and then her mother being removed from her home and placed in an adult home in October of 2023. And then when her 90-year-old mother passes away in March of 2025, Gwen claims it was actually murder and was done in connection with this whole plot and conspiracy against her and her family. So that gets us to January of 2026. And just to be clear, everything I just went over, the poisoning, the alleged murder, all those other claims, are things only found in Gwen's filings and her Facebook posts, just for clarity. Okay, so again, we're now in January of 2026, and there's a hearing on the motion for contempt that Gwen initially filed in 2022. But this 2026 hearing isn't in front of the previous judge. This time, it's in front of a judge named Jennifer Bedford. And Judge Bedford orders that the police department turn over a flash drive of the body cam footage to Gwen, but the judge also finds that the department was not in contempt and dismisses Gwen's motion. So following the hearing, the department turns over the flash drive, but Gwen says the flash drive doesn't work. And so then the department shares a link for Gwen to download the footage directly, which they say she does on January 15, 2026. However, the very next day, Gwen files a motion for a new trial regarding the body cam footage. And she files a motion asking for Judge Bedford to be recused from the case because according to her, the judge is a part of the whole conspiracy. And she says the case should have never been in front of Judge Bedford in the first place. It all should have stayed in front of Judge Rozier. There's some back and forth, and then a hearing is set for May 22nd for Judge Bedford to hear the arguments for the new trial. So that gets us to the day of the shooting. They have this hearing where Judge Bedford hears why Gwen wants a new trial, and the attorneys for the town of Roseville argues why this case should not be reopened. According to some reports, Gwendolyn White became belligerent during this hearing, and when it was all over, she allegedly went out to her car, grabbed her weapon, came to an alley where the attorneys for the town were, and then opened fire. So Gwendolyn White is now charged with 2 counts of attempted murder, and I'm not 100% clear yet on the status of the attorneys, but that's the background. It's also worth noting, and just for context, when you search Gwendolyn White's name in the court system, there are a number of lawsuits that she's filed against a number of people. A judge in that county ordered that Gwen was not allowed to file any more lawsuits or pleadings unless it was done by an attorney who was in good standing. And if she filed any of them herself, she would need to include the injunction from the judge that said she couldn't file any. And this motion for a new trial doesn't include that paperwork. And so the attorneys for the town of Roseville says she is violating the order. And so on that basis, this whole thing should be thrown out anyway. Okay, that's all I got. Also, you can go check out her Facebook page if you want to see more. Have y'all seen or heard about
Police in North Carolina say that this woman is facing attempted murder charges after she shot 2 attorneys outside of a courthouse in downtown Raleigh. Now, this all happened on Friday, May 22nd, and police say that this woman, Gwendolyn White, who is 57 years old, was attending a court hearing on Friday morning, and this was in relation to a civil lawsuit involving the Roseville Police Department. Now, the 2 lawyers that were representing the police department were Mary Harris and Jeffrey Whitley. And at a certain point during the hearing, Gwendolyn became emotional and belligerent. And then after the hearing was over, everyone went their separate ways. Gwendolyn went to her car, got her gun, came back, and shot the 2 attorneys. Gwendolyn was very quickly arrested, and she is now being held until her first court appearance, which is on May 26th. Now, both lawyers were taken to the hospital, and Mary's father did confirm that she was in surgery and that she is in stable condition. However, Jeffrey's condition is unknown at this time. Police in North Carolina say that this woman
You know what? Mad props to her. Because she snapped. They knew what they was doing. But you know what she also did? She set off an alarm in everybody. Everybody could be like, oh, who mama that is? Who this, who that? Bro. She basically just started a trend. You know how many people are on the verge of snapping? Especially these white folks. They want to play with brown and black people like they ain't got no damn sense. And the fact that they harassed her as a neighbor, poisoned her, got her mama removed. She filed so many lawsuits. What? They try to make her feel so small and so alone. Yeah. Yeah. I hope she got it out her system. Because for her mama to have been removed and tortured in a nursing home, the bare minimum, starving, throwing acid on her wounds, and they just disregard all her lawsuits. So she snapped. Okay? North Carolina is so freaking KKK. But that's really the heart and soul. She snapped. She snapped and pow 2 attorneys, a woman and a man. She wanted them to feel what she felt or her mama felt. Okay? And if they don't make it, then if they do make it, they ain't never gonna be the same. They're gonna understand. They're gonna understand. And it's given. That's a can of worms she just opened. Because the more they try to do that, people are snapping. Okay? These white people better get their shit together. They rather war. It's not a game. You know? They are going to find themselves under nuclear when the whole Trump gonna mess around and get everybody nuked. Racist dumb ass.
Lauren, the biggest question on many people's minds tonight is what led up to this shooting. The I-Team tonight combing through court records and uncovering a 5-year timeline ahead of this case that all started with a request to obtain police body camera video. What started as an argument between neighbors 5 years ago, resulting in the shooting of 2 attorneys in the heart of downtown Raleigh Friday. Eyewitness News obtaining this video showing Raleigh police taking the woman they believe is the shooter into custody. Police identified the suspect as Gwendolyn White. Court documents identify the victims as Mary Harris and Jeffrey Whitley, seen in bios posted on their law firm's website. Now tonight, the I-Team is learning more about the case that brought all 3 of them together to the same courtroom Friday morning. Court documents show it all started in March 2021 when Roseville police responded to a verbal altercation between White and her 2 neighbors on this block. Police Police say the body camera video did not show White's neighbors committing any criminal activity. Her neighbors asked for a no-contact order with White following the incident. In February 2022, White asked for a copy of that body camera video of the incident. The videos were found in April 2022. But court documents say White never got a copy of the videos until this year. She filed a motion of contempt against the Rolesville Police Department. In January of this year, a judge ruled Rolesville Police must give her the video, but said the department was not in contempt. Court documents say White got the videos 2 days after the judge's ruling. A day later, she filed another motion, this time asking for a new case related to the release of the body camera video. The North Carolina court database shows a hearing at 10 this morning to determine whether to reinstate the case. Raleigh police say during the hearing, White became, quote, belligerent and left the courthouse just before the shooting.
No, they just want to kill people slowly, you know, and don't expect nothing because they've been doing this shit for so long, you know. We're getting closer. This next blue moon, it is 6 years in of being so celestial. That celestial energy ain't no joke. And not to mention, any kind of type of melanated people. Okay? It's gonna be in that celestial energy. Yeah. Now again.
A North Carolina woman shoots 2 attorneys outside of the Wake County Courthouse, stemming from an altercation, which is a lawsuit against the Roseville town. Y'all get in here. 57-year-old Gwendolyn White was arrested on Friday outside of the Wake County Courthouse. She was there for a lawsuit that she actually put out on the town of Roseville, and the 2 attorneys that were shot were the attorneys that were representing the town. This goes back.
Exactly. See, they were trying to railroad her into the ground, and she motherfucking snapped. Child, I say to the ancestors, and I don't condone violence, but it's imminent. The only real nuclear that's imminent is celestial power. That's the real nuclear. Where do you think they get all those nukes from? Not a game. Not a game. Let's be clear. They're gonna learn the hard way. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm channeling. When I say they, I mean the boogeyman. Huh? Like Mario taking out the dragon, you know, it's not a game. She trending. Excuse me, she trending.
So the 57-year-old woman right there, Gwendolyn White, she shot 2 lawyers after they came out of court. She went and retrieved her car, came back, and shot the 2 lawyers in the alley. But here's the bad part. Here's the worst part. Her and her mother has been harassed for a couple years. Matter of fact, her mother was in a nursing home, and her mother had open bed sores. And allegedly, someone at the nursing home had put acid in her mother's wounds. Also, this lady said that at some point, her and her mother was poisoned with arson, and then also that her neighbor was harassing her, and also that the police chief threw everything out, like erased everything that had been happening to this woman and her mother. But yeah, she got tired and she pew-pewed those 2 lawyers. So the 57-year-old woman right there, Gwendolyn White.
The hurt doesn't show, but the pain's too gross.
It's your girl, Miss Hollywood, and welcome to a quick daily news wrap update. Authorities say 57-year-old Gwendolyn...
Why are y'all shooting people at these doggone courthouses? Stop taking these weapons to the courthouse, please. I am Keisha, the channel.
Live outside the attorneys lying on the ground, EMTs running in, and Gwendolyn White being arrested. Flynn Snyder has been working all day to try and learn more about Miss White and her case and how all of this is connected. Flynn is...
Breaking news, we now know the names of the two attorneys.
What happened in Raleigh yesterday, where those two lawyers were shot and by this lady allegedly who was involved in a civil case with them, where she was the plaintiff representing herself, so-called pro se litigant, and these lawyers were defending a small town police department, and it was a civil case, and this woman allegedly didn't like the result, ran outside to her car, and in cold blood shot both of the lawyers.
It started as a civil dispute, took a violent turn
with the NCB. Just after 10:30 a.m., Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyd, he said that this woman right here.
Sheriff deputies.
Someone's pissed.
Gangsta ass Gwendolyn White, put some respect on her name.
Two attorneys were shot outside a courthouse. Police say.
All right, so we have an update on the right.
You know what? They need to stop playing in that damn town. They need to stop playing with folks. And what they did to her, she got her licks. And that's that. Look, she took justice in her own hand because she wasn't scared. Now, I don't condone that. But imagine the whole town against you. And your mama just died in a nursing home. Because they removed her, because your neighbors were stalking you, because the KKK, the Freemasons, you know how they do. You know how they do. But she took matters in her own hands. And she gonna go to jail. She gonna live with that. She gonna live with that, but she gonna live with justice in her heart and ready to die, because she ain't scared. She ain't never scared. She ain't never scared. The Alpha, the Omega, the one who was and who still is yet to come. Y'all get it? She just opened up a can of worms. In that same town, not too long ago, they just picked a white police officer in that same ass place. Picked a black young girl off her feet, put in the air, and slammed her and left her with a concussion. So, in a school, so like, justice is creeping, boy, and it's gonna start forming in a way like they gonna be hit. That's the real nuclear that's awakening. That's gonna snap. She did what she did. She opened all her lawsuits. They kept ignoring them. They put a limit on her. She couldn't even sue anymore. Like, everything they did to her, neighbors laughed. The police officers gave the wrong freaking videos, the body cameras. Like, they put her mama in I can't believe they would put her mama in the damn near shelter and torture her, pouring acid in her sores. Like, ain't that, like, what? Like, what? What are we even talking about? So, people are getting up on here like, oh, this woman. Nah, put some motherfucker respect on Miss Gwendolyn White name, bro. Don't play with me. And tell somebody that knows somebody and know that y'all, listen, y'all don't even know the timelines we in. You ain't gonna have no other choice but to fucking fight. Hello? It's gonna be, the will to live is more powerful than you could ever even imagine. They took her mama and did her, and then tried to do her, and then because she's a black woman by herself, she took matters in her own hand. She just basically, like, it's just like the old tribes. When the one tribe would take out the whole police station. 1, 2. Take out a whole town. That's how the tribes was. And she had that blood in her. I'm just saying, though. It is what it is. And I'm not condoning violence. I'm just seeing something in the near future where motherfuckers is about to start snapping, if you get my drift. Like the video, share the video, and just beware, and don't ever try to fight them, because you would never win. You would never win. I'll tell you right now, don't try to fight them alone anyways. It's a shame that they could be in your neighborhood and killing your sister or brother in front of you, and it's just crazy to me how But you know what? Police stations are closing. Police stations are closing. There's so many things going on the timeline. Police stations are closing. Hospitals. Somebody just shot up a hospital. It's just crazy. They trying to blow the hospitals up, y'all. This is crazy. Okay, where? Oh, and Ebola, Ebola in Africa, where Ebola is taking place, because they found out that that's dumb doing that, and I guess they must have had seen they was unaliving everybody in the Kalamalemic, allegedly, sledgely. Child, they blowing up them damn freaking hospitals in Africa. They not playing with them. Ebola, what? Poof. Celestial power. Black people, brown people, they are fucking on edge. Okay? And this is worldwide. And it's crazy because I was watching old things of the Moors, and they called them Indians. That's crazy. The Moors and all how they ruled for 700 years and how they built civilization. You know what I'm saying? The Hebrews and the Moors. The Hebrews are the descendants of the Moors. It's not a game, yo. When the Most High revealed that to me today, it was like, wow. And how they took these white people out of caves. Showed them how to live because they were disruptive. It's crazy how they took over the freaking world. Oh my God. Because the Moors gave them the secrets. It all goes back to the Moors. The Moors. And they heavy everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They ruled in Spain. They ruled in Europe. They ruled. Kings and queens. And they had the big old puffy afros. Them hats that the soldiers be wearing in UK, trying to imitate and emulate and infiltrate the Moors with the high tops. And it's crazy because in the 90s, we had the high tops. You know what I'm saying? Kid and play, house party. High tops was the thing, boy. Everybody was wearing their afros as a high top. And it never dawned on me because we was asleep back then. We was just in that season, the Gen X season. You know how that went. All these damn near itchy ass PDF files started getting all these young girls pregnant. And ditties and you know what I mean? But it's crazy how their afros were so high. That was considered their crowns. It is so crazy. And it makes sense because in the White House, they got portals underneath there. It's called the Looking Glass. It's located in the White House. And JFK used to go down there to the Looking Glass and he would discover events that were going to happen in the future. And he tried to stop. He got so scared that he was trying to stop it. He was way too early for it, but that's why they got rid of him. And you already know who got rid of him, right? But it's crazy because the way things is looking right now with war, Trump, and you know what's crazy? How Ebola started in the Congo, right? In the Congo, and over there they need uranium. There's nothing but natural resources. So they was trying to destabilize, do it again. They already have people that dig that out, you know what I'm saying? But uranium, they ran out of weapons. They ran out of, all kinds of types of stuff. They need natural resources. They trying to get in there. Ever since shit done hit the fan, it's been really hard for Trump and them to go in there and destabilize, and run, PDF file trafficking rings. So, yeah, it is crazy. But going back to the Moors and how they took them out of caves. Because the Moors created civilization, man. They were the best in everything. Crazy? That's deep. That is deep. That's why they don't care what you are. Say you whatever. You know what I'm saying? But just don't say you a Moor. And I realized that. When the Moors start going crazy and they start trying to take over, they already know what it is. They already know what it is. When you say you a Moor, We talk about the Moors rude, okay? Rude. Colonized every damn near thing, okay? So everything these white people are doing, they doing this after the fact. I'm telling y'all right now. And that's why every now and then you will run into pictures like a black man, like a Moor, with a white woman. Like they had so many of them. They were like slaves. You know what I'm saying? The real slaves was white people, bro. Everything in this damn near education system we have ever learned is a lie. It's opposite. The total opposite. Okay? White people came from the caves. They didn't even exist. They only exist for like what? Before 1600, they did not exist. Yeah. They were in the caves. White people did not exist. Okay? So now, they ruling and reigning, and they know what time it is, but people are really asleep. They don't care what you think you are. Just don't say you're a Moor. Shout out to the Moors, because, and that's why they use New York Malachi to be all those characters. You know what I'm saying? Because true reality, motherfuckers are all the characters. On God, you know? And he kept switching it up. And then at last he was in Egypt. But you know what? He was just playing out everything he have ever been in his past lives. It makes sense to me now. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Malachi York, okay, is who I'm talking about. And when I watch him in his land and how he had the Egyptian signs, and then he had more stuff, like he had everything. There was a symbol of everything. This man crazy, but he was telling us something, and that's the problem. We always watching some shit, but we don't watch everything like how who watches, right? Child, it's just so crazy. Shout out to Miss Gwendolyn White. My heart goes out to you and your mom, and I'm sorry that you had to endure that you had to snap, because you feel alone, because people are so scared, but you wasn't scared. You didn't even care. You didn't even care if you was hoping they would have killed you. I see it. That just came out of nowhere, but they didn't, because you have a part, you have more to play. Okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, soon as she get in, wherever she gonna get in, I'ma pray for her. We gotta pray for her, and we gotta be real careful with these white folks and they fake ass new laws after this, okay? Because it's not a game, okay? They would try to come up with some bullshit, and you know what? They are lawlessness. They don't care. They just trying to hold on to this illusion as long as more as possible as they can. You know what I'm saying? And it's an illusion. Everything is backwards. That's why they can't do it without us. Without us, there is no them. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta constantly push that narrative. Without us, there is no them. Shout out to all the black women that are on Front Street and fighting this good fight, but genuinely real. You know what I'm saying? That don't care. They don't care. She was not going out like that. Go home to feel like dead inside. You know what I'm saying? People, y'all need to stop calling her this woman. Her name is Miss Gwendolyn White. Put some respect on her name and pray for her. Pray for her, and don't get on here cooning. Let's be clear. Don't be on no scary ass shit cooning, because you know what? When y'all start doing shit like that, that's when they start trying to come with these fake ass laws. So be mindful. Be mindful of your thoughts, and just know that we are celestial. Period. At the end of the day, they have to realize that one day or another, and it's gonna come to a point. That's why they made that movie with black people killing all white people. And I don't condone that. But because I know I'm educated and I know the beginning, I also know the end. And the word says that it shall be as it was in the beginning, it shall be in the end. What does that tell you? You know what I'm saying? Who's first and who's second? The ones who are second are doing the most. So the Alpha, the Omega, the one who was and who still is yet to come, is at the peak. Okay? That little peaky peak. Okay? People are snapping. You know, they're trying everything in their willpower to squeeze the life out of us. What do they expect? What do they expect? They think that it's okay to do whatever they want to do, you know, to a peculiar people. They keep forgetting the peculiar part, you know, because they so busy trying to emulate, infiltrate, and, you know, trying to act like they superior, but they're not. You know, they the ones who need weapons. And where the weapons come from, please do y'all research. Where nukes, where bullets, where everything come from, please do your research. Who's the real bullets? That's why the Matrix said that. Who's the real bullets? Who's the real nuclear? Go look up what your body 666 electrons mean. 6 electrons, neutrons, and protons. Go look it up. Nuclear. The nuclear. Okay? It is not a game. Motherfucking, when you pump blood in your veins, every drip of blood is fire. Okay? You shooting fire. And they need you sleeping. You need to be asleep. Okay? Because God forbid if you wake up and you use that electric power some kind of type of way, baby, you're gonna snap like Miss Gwendolyn. You're gonna snap like Miss Gwendolyn White. My heart goes out to her and her family. And I just pray that these attorneys will stop playing in our face. It wasn't right. But they took her there. The thing is, they never seen it done like that. She is the first, besides Harriet Tubman would shoot your ass, she is the first in this century to break records like that. Okay? This is bigger than Rosa Parks sitting on the damn front of the bus. Okay? This is bigger than Candace Owens. This is bigger than this is bigger than Tasha K. Word on the street, Tasha K. Cardi B sending her husband, deporting his ass. Because he caught himself putting a new business or whatever in their name. And she's like, how you got all this? You her husband. Where's my money? So here it is, Tasha K. If they was to deport your husband, are you going to Africa? Because, I mean, you got to follow your husband. But that's not neither here nor there. Are you getting ready to book it? Because, I mean, it is what it is. If you you got all that money hitting, shit, in Mali, they going to call your ass gangsta. I stoop a woman gangsta. You run over here. You make my son be deported. Girl, stop playing. And I know you was mad. Y'all all be mad when I speak in spirit and in truth. But, hey, it is what it is. Now, listen. Shout out to all of those who are in spirit and in truth and who are really genuine. Like the video, share the video.